Good morning students and a very warm welcome to all of you. Let us start new topic, supply analysis. For the convenience I divided this topic into 5 parts. So in the first part I am going to explain meaning of supply, individual supply and market supply. So let us start with the meaning of supply. The study of supply is as important as the study of demand. Supply is a fundamental economic concept that describes the total amount of a specific goods or services that is available to a seller. The total amount of goods or services available for sale at any specified price is known as supply. That means here also the supplier, whatever the stock is available with him and he wants to sell it, that is called as supply. The concept of total output, stock and supply. Let us understand the difference between total output, stock and supply. Total output. Output is produced in the process of production. Total output can be defined as the sum total of quantity of the commodity produced at a given period of time in the economy. So whatever the quantities are produced in the economy, they are considered as the total output. Production leads to consumption. See, and every producer is producing the goods and services for consumption purposes. So in the process of production, inputs are converted into output or final goods. That is, input is raw material and final product is the good which is ready in the market for consumption. Let us understand what is stock. Stock is the total quantity of a commodity available for sale with a seller at a particular point of time. It is a source of supply or it is a potential supply. By increasing production, stock can be increased. Without stock, supply is not possible. Normally, stock exceeds supply. This can be asked for true or false. Stock exceeds supply and it is fixed and inelastic. For example, if the farmer is producing 1000 kilogram of rice, that is his stock, production of that 1000, but that cannot be called as supply. There is a difference. So what is the difference? That we will understand. And that 1000 is fixed. It is inelastic. But supply cannot be more than stock. He cannot supply 1001 kilogram of rice to someone, right? Because he is having a stock of 1000 kilogram of rice. So stock exceeds supply and it is fixed and inelastic. In case of perishable goods such as milk, fish, stock may be equal to supply because immediately they have to finish the stock, because perishable goods are the items which can get destroyed very fast. So whatever the stock is there, that has to be converted into supply. On the other hand, the durable goods such as furniture, garments, etc., stock can exceed the supply, because in case of these durable goods, the supplier can wait for the higher price because they are durable, they cannot get destroyed. So a supplier can wait for the higher price. This is what is about the stock. So what you have to understand here, stock exceeds supply and it is fixed and inelastic. Let us understand what is supply. Supply is a relative term. It is always expressed in relation to price, time and quantity. How we discussed in case of demand, in the same way it always related to price, time and quantity. What is the meaning of supply? The word supply implies the various quantities of commodity offered for sale by the producer during a given period of time at a given price. It is related to time and price. Supply is a flow concept. It is the amount of commodity that the firm produce and offer for sale in the market over a period of time. For example, the time period can be a day's time or week's time or month or year. So supply is a flow concept. It keeps coming in the market. It is related to time. Daily supply, weekly supply, monthly supply, yearly supply, like this. Now we will discuss the definition of supply. Supply refers to the quantity of the commodity that a seller is willing and able to offer for a sale at a given price during a certain period of time. For example, a farmer's total output of rice is 4,000. This is his stock. If the price is 40 per kg, he offers 1000 kg for sale. This is what is the actual supply. That means 3000 is still with him. Now understand how we can explain this with the help of supply schedule and individual supply schedule. We will discuss market supply schedule as well and diagram. A supply schedule is a tabular representation of the functional relationship between price and quantities supplied of a particular commodity. Individual supply schedule. It refers to the tabular representation. Tabular means table. Table's representation showing various quantities of commodity that a producer is willing to sell at various prices during a given period of time. Let us understand the individual supply schedule. The table is explaining the functional relationship between price and quantity supplied of a commodity. Lower the price, lower is supplied. Higher the price, higher is supplied. There is a direct relation. Look at the table. When the price is 10, supply is 100. Price rises to 20, supply rises to 200. Price rises to 30, supply rises to 300. Price rises to 40, supply rises to 400, and price rises to 50, supply rises to 500. That means as price rises, supply also rises. There is a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. Look at the diagram. It is a graphical representation of individual supply schedule. In the diagram, along with x-axis, we measure quantity supplied and y-axis price. According to the table, we got this point when the price is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, supply rises to 100, 200, 300, 400 and 500. Here also we have shown when the price is 1, supply is 100. When price is 10, supply is 100. When price is 20, supply is 200. Price is 30, supply is 300. Price is 40, supply is 400. Price is 50, supply is 500. That means as price rises from 10 to 20, 30, 40, 50, supply also rises from 100 to 200, 300, 400, 500. And SS is the supply curve which slopes upwards. This upward sloping supply curve indicates direct relationship between quantity supplied and price and quantity supplied. Now let us understand market supply schedule. How we discuss in the market demand, in the same way we just take 3 sellers for the sake of convenience in the example. Market supply schedule refers to the tabular representation showing different quantities of commodity which all producers are prepared to sell at a different prices at a given period of time. Now look at the table. Market supply is obtained by adding the supply of seller A, B and C at different prices, right? At the highest price of 50, the highest supply is 1800. We will just see that when the price is 10, every supplier or every seller can sell different quantities depending upon the ability of the seller. When at price 10, A is selling 100, B is selling 200, C is selling 300. So 100 plus 200 plus 300, it is 600. When price rises, supply also rises. So A is selling now 200, B is selling 300 and C is selling 400. So 200, 300, 400 is 900. Now price rises to 30. So supply also rises. A is selling now 300, B is selling 400, C is selling 500. So total supply is 300 plus 400 plus 500, it is 1200. Price rises to 40. So again A is supplying more commodities 400, B is supplying more, that is 500, C is supplying 600 more commodities. So 400, 500 plus 500 plus 600, it is 1500. And at price 50, when the price is rising to 50, A is supplying now 500 commodities. Supply rises, B is supplying more, that is 600 and C is supplying 700. The total of 500, 600 and 700 is 1800. This is what is the market supply. So higher the price, higher is the supply, and lower the price, lower is the supply. Take it in other way. If price is falling from 50 to 40, 30, 40, 20 and 10, supply is also falling from 1800, 1500, 1200, 900 and 600. That is, there is a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. Let us see the diagram. Market supply, it is a graphical presentation of market supply schedule. In the diagram, quantity supplied is shown on the x-axis and price along with the y-axis. According to the table, this table, when price rises from 10 to 20, 30, 40, 50, supply rises from 600 to 900, 1200, 1500 and 1800. So when the price rise is 10, supply is 600. Price rises to 20, it is rising to 900. When it is rising to 30, it is 1200. 40, it is 1500 and 50, it is 1800. So in this way, according to the table, we get the points, and by joining these, we get SS curve. SS is the supply curve. It is a market supply curve which slopes upwards, and the upward sloping supply curve indicates direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. This is what is the meaning of market supply schedule, individual supply schedule, individual supply curve. Students, the question can be distinguished between stock and supply. So here you can give the distinguish between stock and supply, the definition of stock, supply, and you can give the meaning of supply also in that. The question, another question can be explain the individual supply and market supply. So in that you have to give the definition, then table, diagram for both market as well as for individual. Thank you very much. Here the entire answer is over.